Hey, everyone in. Let's go. Huddle up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Huddle up.
You all know what you have to do. Remember, no one, and I mean no one, comes into our house and pushes us around. This is your game now, gentlemen.
Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins.
This could be a sentence that a month ago would sound incomprehensible. From 31 yards, McPherson and Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl.
He called it again, I'm sure. He walked up and he goes, "Can you believe, Coach? We're going to the Super Bowl." And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Huddle Up Podcast, Tuesday, December the 20th, 2022. We are glad to be back with you. Christmas week, and we hope, however you are celebrating the holiday and the holidays, that you are doing well. Make sure you are following us on all of our social media at Huddle Up Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Make sure you are subscribed on all podcast platforms. We would certainly appreciate that. If you are with us in the live video, give us a like and a share. Get as many people in here as possible. We would certainly appreciate that as well. Interact with the show as we are live. And if you enjoy it, please share the show with anybody you think might enjoy it and get continue to grow the Huddle Up brand as it has become even more reaching throughout this fall than I have ever anticipated. So I thank this crew here for that, and I certainly appreciate all the support from the team. So let's go around the room here. We'll start with Ernest EJ Christian. How we doing this week, my friend?
I am doing well. I'm right now, well, other than the Heat being down at 10 right now in the first quarter, but otherwise, I'm like the holiday spirit. So, the holiday spirit. That's kind of like to say the holiday spirit.
Kyle, student of the game, Kyle Nash. How we doing?
Kind of like your fanhood. It's kind of hard to buy your Galladay spirit when you're wearing a damn Thriller shirt in December. But hey, listen, as I keep reminding you guys, I may not live where the snow will glisten, but I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Oh, beautiful.
I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
if you like that rhyme, gentlemen, be prepared for what you'll have this week on the 3pointconversion.com. This week's edition of the Matchup Mania going holiday themed might be a night before St. Nick. That is the theme there.
Can I piggyback real quick on 3-point conversion, though? Shout out to your boss, Contra. No, this is cool, actually. Interviewing Big E yesterday from WWE.
Mm-hmm. That, and he also got Shakur Sanders at the Celebration Bowl. So he did a couple things. I too was at the Cure Bowl with 3-point, and also I don't want to talk. Well, I was there at the Jaguars and Cowboys game. More on that later.
Somebody listened to the 5 observations this week.
Yeah.
More on that later.
We will certainly get there, I am sure. Matt, how we doing this week?
I was doing good, and then EJ said that the Heat are down 10, and I'm doing even better now because it's always a good thing.
That is a disgusting.
Hey, where's your cap at, buddy?
My cap? I took it off.
You always wear your hat on the show.
He's making you feel even more self-conscious over and above everything else.
Mike joining in with us. How we doing, Mike? Devin as well. Hope you guys are doing well.
What up?
Yeah, we might as well jump right in as we do each and every week. We got the people's eyebrow from student of the game, Kyle Nash. We look back at the weekend that was, or the week that was, I suppose, at three things: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Matt, we'll start with you. What was good from this past weekend?
Every result from the NFC East games this past weekend were good for Matt. The Eagles, of course, getting their win. The Cowboys getting their loss. The Giants getting their win, getting so much closer to that playoff berth, and the contract extension for one Daniel Dimes Jones.
Do it!
And, of course, after hearing for days after the Monday Night Football game between Philadelphia and Washington that referees cannot impact a game whatsoever, just take your loss, to see the tears of Commanders fans after the referees impacted a game was just the cherry on top of the NFC Sunday for Matt.
You know, that concept might have been mentioned in the Christmas edition of the Matchup Mania, Matt. So I hope you check that out so you can see my
Certainly shall.
All right. Kyle, what was good from this past weekend?
Man, I'll tell you, and it's, I'm not going to go for the obvious thing because I think someone else is going to do it on the panel, so I'll just let that be. I'm going to throw it out here in a completely different direction. Someone's Lions are getting frisky. I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions threatening playoffs as the good this week because, listen, I'm glad to be in a situation once again to talk about Man Campbell.
Yeah.
Always love doing that. EJ, what was your good from the weekend?
Mine is sort of a piggyback of Kyle a little bit, but I'm going to take what I said before the year started and kind of combine it here where we're at now, week 16. It is the Lions. It is the Jags. I said this year that these two teams will be the friskiest teams of the year. Didn't think there'd be a playoff team. I'm here to say,
yeah,
both these teams will make the playoffs this year. I'm telling you right now, they will make the playoffs this year. Both teams will get in the playoffs.
So are you aware?
Yes, I'm aware of the Jags injuries. Yes.
Not the injuries, Jack Wagon.
Oh, wait.
But I know why you're aware of that, and it's probably me. I'm kidding.
Because you. You.
No, well,
have insight.
So, wait, does it count? Anyways, so,
it's
it's funny. The Jags currently have as many wins as I picked in August. But special correspondent Travis Holmes, who comes on the Student Game podcast, and we'll see him this week talking about the game from Sunday in TIAA Bank Stadium. More on that later. He had picked 9. If you're correct, both you and Travis, by extension, would have to be right. That's basically
right.
The scenario.
But my argument is also not just the fact that both teams are playing well. Obviously, look at those schedules.
Both teams
look
are
at those
playing
schedules.
Well. Sure, the Titans are free falling. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying. But on top of that, now Titans tough schedule too. On top of that, they got still got to play Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Jim.
Something like that, Jim.
Dallas. Do you trust the Titans to close out the deal? I mean, come on.
Well,
I don't.
You say tough schedule. I tell you, Texans and Jags is the final 2 weeks, and you call that tough. That's interesting. I mean, it's certainly
Dallas in there too, like I said.
Right. I mean, right.
Hey, Dallas struggled against those two very teams.
I don't know why you're assuming Dallas is a tough game at this point.
Right. I mean, exactly. And with that in mind,
I'd almost argue the Texans are the tougher game out of those three.
Hey,
right.
Texans almost beat you guys and Kansas City in back-to-back weeks.
That's my point.
Right. And between juggernauts like the Texans and the Cowboys there in that state of Texas, it's only imaginable that the Eagles certainly have a super difficult schedule, and I have no right to criticize it.
What we were arguing on the podcast last week, Kyle, on my show, was that Jacksonville needed a 2-game swing, right? A 2-game swing or 1-game swing to be in position to grab it?
Something like that. Well, here's the thing.
Well, part one's been done already this weekend.
Well, yes. That the problem with the analysis on the on the Earnestly Speaking podcast was that we had assumed the Cowboys game would go a different way. More on that later. So
I don't know why you assume that, but that's your problem.
No one said we were correct to do so. That's just what happened, Jim. Anyways, if you could stop loathing yourself for 30 seconds, you'd like to get this. Like,
listen to the 5 observations. Oh my God!
But more on that later.
Yes.
So the the piece that's now different, EJ, is no matter what, basically, Week 18 is essential for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know that there's a scenario where they can lose Week 18 and make the playoffs.
Well, Week 18 is against the Titans.
Bingo. The division tiebreak, first and foremost, is head-to-head.
And they beat them already once already.
If they sweep on the last week in Week 18, and all the other, and they have the same win total, most importantly, right? Which is the only way the Jags can really win is if they have the same win total, or at this point, that's all it could be. The Titans will beat them in any other scenario because the divisional record situation there.
Right. Which is what I'm saying, that that will play out. Jags will find a way to get it done. They'll get in. They'll win, make the AFC South, and that's curtains for the Titans.
The one place where you're correct is they do control their destiny. If they win out, the Jags are hosting a game in Duval, and I will be present.
I'm praying for that right now for you, buddy.
Oh, thanks, man.
Mike, kind of piggybacking a bit off of Kyle and off of EJ, but specifically when talking about the Lions is Jared Goff. 6 straight games now without turning the ball over. They're 5-1 in the stretch. Their only loss there, of course, to Buffalo in a game where if that game's 3 minutes longer, we might be talking about a Lions victory over Buffalo. But
that was OT, right? That's OT, right?
No, I think that
was
OT.
No, it was regulation.
Okay.
But the Lions were surging and I think just ran out of time.
Right.
But yeah, 6 straight games without a turnover for Jared Goff. So
I mean, that's not a bad thing to point out, Jim, but you'll have to forgive me when it comes to golf. I get kind of that Chris Rock vibe of you did what you were supposed to do. What do you want? A cookie? But for those that remember that particular stand-up.
Well, I mean, there's other teams in the NFC that lose because their quarterback turned it over. So there's a team that's winning because they're not. So
can you say the line once so I don't have to do it again?
So pardon me if
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
No, I meant more on that.
I think you meant more on that later.
Oh, well, more on that later.
I'll accept that too. Listen,
when usually you queue up something, I thought that's what you're usually going
It's
for.
funny. I'm watching the game with the Jets though on Sunday. Like you throw away the win-loss record of the Lions. They look like a playoff team. They look like a team that's like polished, ready to go. Like you wouldn't think they started this team season 1 and 6. Just watch them play.
Okay, pump damn brakes, home slice. Let's not go quite there.
I mean, comparing them to the rest of the NFC right now, or most of the rest of the NFC.
I'm just saying this in terms of just what they were before and what they are now. I mean, they look night and day. It's insanity.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Devin's good. He said the Dolphins not absolutely getting destroyed by the Bills. Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Nope.
No, what? What? We mean
That's
no?
Loser talk.
Okay, 13-1, pipe down. I'll tell you what, that Dolphins loss though, actually not a bad loss. I feel good about this team going forward.
Of course,
that Dolphins loss is certainly better than a lot of wins. Yeah, that's true.
And Mike's good here. He says whatever the hell Zach Taylor said to the Bengals at halftime looked like 2 completely different teams. Absolutely.
That team is scary.
All right, Kyle, what was your bad from the weekend that was?
I'm gonna do this for the bad. The bad I'm gonna do that whole, and somebody else probably has it, but this one I'm stealing. The whole Raiders Pats ending debacle thing. While there's an element of poetic justice to it if you are a Raiders fan, good God, just go to overtime.
Thing sucks.
Completely. I get the one guy did it because he thought he had a shot, but then, peer pressure got overwhelming and then the interception was thrown. What the hell was that all about?
I just don't even understand you're not losing. Like, why are we trying to make the band is out on the field play happen when you're not losing? Just go down and go to overtime. Like nothing makes sense there.
Hey, EJ, we found somebody who was in the Galladay spirit. Okay.
EJ, what was your bad from the past weekend?
I mean, my bad really was the Colts, man, on Saturday. What the fuck was that? Holy shit!
You sure that doesn't apply to ugly? I'm asking.
I mean, I got other ugly here. That's why I got to pull in the blanks here. But no, but the Colts. I mean, I'm thinking, hey, Jeff Saturday wins on a Saturday. Had all queued up at halftime.
Well, what happened was
right. So I mean, safe to say that Saturday will not be the coach next year. Safe to say.
Yeah, I would highly doubt it. Yeah. Honestly, like even if they would have, was there a scenario where you think he would have been hired, or was this just
if they went out
doing a thing for his buddy sort of a situation?
If they went out, I'm sure they consider it.
Possibly. But yeah, that was
certainly not going to happen.
Yeah, certainly not. Matt, what was your bad?
The continued fall of the legacy of EJ's hero, Tom Brady, who just continues to look like shit on and off the field.
And all it took us 23 years to get to this point. That's the sad part. Oh, wait, also all of a sudden his legacy changes now?
Could have just stayed retired.
He won 7 championships. All of a sudden, 1 year he sucks now?
So petty. All right, Skip Bayless. Just because he's so petty that he doesn't want someone to ruin his retirement announcement.
Is that what he's saying also too, Skip?
Yes, he did. Now, Matt, put your glasses back on.
Right.
Could have stayed retired, but because Adam Schefter ruined his moment, he had to come back for 1 season, and it's the most forgettable one.
He loves the game. I get it.
No, I don't, frankly. And what I don't get is stop saying 23 years. He had lost it a bit last year. I can make an argument for the year before, but I won't. He was just surrounded by a hell of a squad, and people stopped talking about that part. Now, suddenly this year, it's just, Father Time caught up. No! He was in the back room, damn it. You just kept him locked in the closet and drunk, like Tom Brady was on watermelon vodka, apparently. And the rest of the team did their job. Now, granted, on the mic, I should say, Tom did his job to kind of manage the Antonio Brown situation. I'm not saying he wasn't leadership, but let's not act like he's been pinpoint, last year either. Not taking away from his longevity. There's only one other player that played anything like him and towards a distance in recent times, of course, being the actual GOAT of his position, Jerry Rice. But, say what you will about Tom Brady. Taking 2 decades to regress, that's awesome.
Yeah, it certainly has not been a good or even average year for Tom and the Bucs. Yeah, that my bad from this week. Not just isolating on TB12, but the Bucs as a whole. I mean, offensively, defensively, the whole thing failed in the second half. Just an absolute meltdown. You're leading 17-0 at half, and look, I'm not denying that the Bengals are the better team, but to absolutely not even show up in the second half was just absolutely brutal.
Not great, Bob.
And they're still in first place in the NFC South.
Also, great.
That's the worst part.
My frisky Panthers are still alive.
Still alive. Everybody
they were
in the South is still alive.
Well, they're gonna have to lead the division, and they won this week against Pittsburgh. And
that's the sick part, is everybody in that garbage trash fire of a division is still alive, because everybody else is 5-9, and the Bucs are 6-8. So brutal, absolutely brutal that all 4 of those shitbag teams are still alive.
And yet, Jim, I still agree with you on your whole assessment on about everybody's complaining about, you should host a playoff game because you're 6. No, fuck all that. It's 1 year on a 15.
Yeah,
stop.
I mean, I heard that argument a lot more loudly when it was the NFC
East, right?
That situation than I'm hearing it now, because we want to get Tom Brady's broken, decrepit body into the playoffs one more time for EJ's sake.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear it from a couple of people. I mean, we heard it back when it was the Seahawks that made it,
right?
And the every time that it happens, you're going to hear it again. I think it's a matter of how many times in rapid succession are we going to see a sub 500 team in the postseason.
Address it when it's a regular thing that happens, not right now.
That's when
you see it a lot more now that you have more games on the calendar too.
Yeah, for sure. You can check out my 5 observations from the weekend on the Huddle Up podcast feed. for more.
Great episode, by the way. Great episode. Highly recommended by me.
Also,
Highly recommended.
Also can check that topic out on the Earnestly Speaking podcast. Bing! Because like you, he copied you and me, who did the topic 3 weeks ago. Bing! On the Speed Game podcast.
Just all the dings. Devin says his bad is the officiating in the NFL. Yeah, you can copy and paste that most weeks.
Bad was the Dolphins losing to the Bills. I'm just kidding, Devin. I love you. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Mike's bad is people still shitting on Deion Sanders. That's still happening.
Wait, that's
Really?
still happening.
Is that happening?
Jesus,
If that's
good
real,
God.
if that's real,
Oh, probably because he was back coaching at Jackson State for the bowl game. I would assume that it got live again.
that's right. I got to put up the "Who Is Swag" song if
I
somebody's
was like, what the hell is happening right now?
like, no, I am pro Dion. At this point, if you morons can't figure it out, what? I wake up. Sorry, I wake up motivated to protect Deion Sanders. That's what it is.
Hell yeah.
Oh, good. EJ, what was your ugly from this past weekend?
Piggybacking on Devin's bad. Officiating was horrible this weekend. And look, my team benefited off of bad officiating on Sunday night.
Wait. There was some bad calls in that Jaguars game, but how did the Cowboys benefit from officiating?
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. No, that Giant game, the officiating was bad. That last play, it was pass interference, yes. Lots of bad calls in that game. Obviously, the Raider game, Jim and I had a big thing on Twitter about that. You know, the touchdown that shouldn't have probably been. I only defended the fact that there was not enough evidence to overturn it. That's all. But
Sure,
the fuck? But here's a question: how the fuck do you not have a billion-dollar company in the NFL not have an extra camera angle to?
Yeah, I said that on the 5 observations too.
Like seriously, what are we doing here?
But I still don't understand how it wasn't conclusive. Half his foot was out of bounds, but
well, the angles couldn't make it. You know what I'm saying? But
no, I don't actually. But I'm not going to beat it to death.
Listen, I mean, we all know why EJ's bringing up the refs, okay, because of his fanhood and all that. He wants to see the Red Tails get in the playoffs. Sorry, Commanders.
He's mad. Like one of the two things has to break, right? Theoretically,
it ain't happening.
Either his Giants don't make it, alleged Giant, or
allegedly
that Commandos pick doesn't make it in.
Whichever one draws his attention.
Matt, what was your ugly from the weekend that was?
I guess it will go along the lines of officiating, but it's to a lesser extent, and it's just the penalty for the targeting rule in college. And the bowl season is always what reminds me of how much I hate this rule, because I get the 15 yards, but the automatic ejection is not something that will ever sit right with me, especially in a bang play for a lot of these young men who will most likely either be playing in their last collegiate game ever, or are trying to impress enough scouts to get some draft consideration, and for them to be disqualified from a game for a play that is just an instant thing is not going to sit right with me. It never does. It happened in the UConn game. The player was in tears on the sideline because that was it for his college career, and that's not something that we should be seeing. I get the 15 yards, keep that, but let's not eject people on the first offense.
It's that's a tough situation, Matt. No question. I actually saw something similar to that happen in the Cure Bowl as well. In that instance, I don't think it was somebody's career ender, as you described, but it's definitely something that's happened before, and I feel like it will again. And I'm not trying to defend what you're saying, because it's all great. It's just, in my opinion, it's just a rough situation that you can't really find a great answer for. You're answering from the football perspective because this is a sports show, that's appropriate. But from the medical perspective, they are caring less about the fact that the guy scores a touchdown if he doesn't do his job and make the play, or that someone's career could end rather. They're trying to concentrate on eliminating the hit and having that be the first thing in the player's mind. And this is the way they're doing it. I had this conversation with PJ Jack, who was the Bill Walsh Fellowship for Minority Coaching who participated in that program with the Jaguars. So like this is somebody who's coaching at an NFL level who still can't find a real clear-cut answer. And he agreed with you, and just like I do, but it's that medical perspective. How do you get rid of it? It's such a tough question to answer.
I get that, but as Jim can attest that in terms of for years we saw Notre Dame just get called for targeting every other week. It seemed like it still seems like it's a judgment call and not a clear-cut one. So that's my only issue with it in its entirety is that the ref gets to decide at the end of the day, yes or no. And their hands are tied too, because if it was by rule targeting, then they have to say that. But with so much interpretation there, it just seems like they could make some amendments to the call.
Yeah, it's obviously it's definitely a complicated situation that you can see both sides of. Why are we kicking a kid out for a bang bang play? Medical science is like Kyle said, telling us, we're trying to protect long-term health. So it's unfortunately, I don't know that we'll ever find the right.
Just go to the NFL, kids, and then they don't give a shit anymore.
Well, that's true,
right?
That is 100% true. Kyle, you're ugly from the weekend that was.
I'm going to go a little bit Homer-ish, but not in terms of team, but the whole scenario surrounding Giovanni Bernard getting cornered in the locker room after the Bucks game was absolutely disgusting. And this is somebody who is a card-carrying member of that part of the media that goes into locker rooms. And I don't want to get into the individual reporters involved and how that happened, but there is under no circumstances that it's okay for reporters to corner a guy and demand an answer because, quote, it's your job. Because while they may be obligated by the league to give you an answer or face a fine, it is in fact not their job to answer you. What it really is the job of the media like that to do, that are trying to get those answers with that access, is to develop relationships with players, not beat answers out of them. It's just wildly inappropriate, and it makes guys like me who are trying to make it in the league have a harder time getting that trust, and it genuinely pisses me off.
Yeah, totally with you.
Yeah, it was we remember kind of infamous, depending your opinion on the matter. Certain guys not wanting to answer questions and things like that, but this was a much different situation. And look, I don't know how all of that works, but I know watching that and having watched post-game locker room interviews, not just in football, in all sports for years, that one felt like gross. That one felt like not okay. Like just watching that, I was like, man, I understand, the reporter has a story to write. They're looking for an answer, but there's got to be a better way to go about this. And if a guy doesn't want to answer, like let him go. Like let him fit. Like if he's going to get fined for that, like if that is his job, quote unquote, to answer the question or face a fine, it's not your job to stop him from getting the fine, right? Like
try to bait him into giving the answer that they wanted. Yeah. Was more what happened in
that came later too. I'm glad you brought that up, Matt. So really quick to clarify, in the scenario we're facing, I don't think that would be a finable situation. I mean, it's the kind of situation like, and I'm not a perfect expert on this yet. I'm still somewhat new to that world, but the scenario that Giovanni Bernard was in, as I understand it, he wouldn't have been obligated to per se. That being said, it shouldn't matter whether you've been talking to him or whether the player's been injured or any of that crap. Listen, if you didn't talk to him at all while he was hurt, first of all, a guy that's hurt in the right scenario is the dude you pump for information because he's easier to get to. And I don't mean chasing him down wise. I mean, he's not suited up.
Right.
He's there with the team. You could catch him off to the side. You can have a one-on-one and develop that kind of rapport with him once you get to that point. But I don't care how prominent a reporter you are on this set. I'm not going to drop names. I don't want this to be that kind of thing, but let's just say there was at least one more than prominent Tampa area media member involved. I'm not going to reveal that name in particular, but I've come to loathe the media members that say, well, it's our job to so-and-so. Okay, great. Me, I wanted to talk to Rashawn Slater. It didn't happen that way. I still got plenty of good stuff from him from his teammates all around to still paint a good story. And they helped me prop up Rashawn Slater, who did his thing with his, 18 tackles and 2 interceptions. Sorry, Jim, more on that later. But yeah, I was still able to get the story without shaking anybody down.
Yeah. Yeah. It just be better. Like,
just be better. That's it. Yeah.
And there's so many situations where like that just seems like such an easy resolution is just to be better. But this one,
by all accounts, Giovanni Bernard is one of like the nicer people in the NFL too, and every other media member since this has come out in his defense and said I've spoken to him a number of times, and was treated just fine. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
My ugly. Should I go homer with this one? Look, I'm not going to go long form with it. I went long form with it on my 5 observations, and it's the Dallas Cowboys. Another failure this week. This time resulting in a loss. They didn't find a way to sneak out a win. But like this team just continues to decline, in my opinion.
Now, Kyle, I believe you asked why I picked the Cowboys-Jags game to be one of our games analyzed last week.
And you were completely realistic in your answer, but even you couldn't have predicted.
You go back a season before, though, you'll know that when I pick the Cowboys, it's for the reverse jinx purposes.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
That's true.
That's been now established in this
Joe,
podcast.
fuck yourself.
No, I appreciate you reminding me, whether I need it or not, I still appreciate it. I still appreciate you reminding me and the listeners that that's the case. Sir, your loathing is noted. Matter of fact, the only loathing that made precisely 0 sense to me comes on 2 fronts. A, I don't know why Jim Neese is so anxious to me not going to a playoff game in Duval, which this game really made a lot more likely than it was before it happened. So I'm sorry you hate me, Jim. And second, as far as being sorry about who you hate, I know for a fact that in a world where Tony Romo is still the quarterback and a 17-point comeback takes place, you aren't blaming Tony Romo like you did Dakota Prescott. I'm sorry.
Clearly, you didn't know me when Romo was the quarterback.
Oh, well, if you're admitting to growing as a human, props. But here's my thing. And if you want to complain about Dakota Prescott overall, even for games before this point, you are certainly granted that right. But it's real damn hard for me to blame Dakota Prescott when the defense gave up 17 points like they did, or a 17-point lead, I should say, in such a fashion that by the end of regulation, not just regulation, but the game, of course, as a whole, they give it up more points on offense than ever before that season. But sure, that's Dak's fault. Cool.
I never insinuated that the loss was all Dak's fault, by the way.
And if Noah Brown...
That falls on Mike McCarthy.
We're getting
that's on McCarthy. That's on Moore. That's on the defense. That's on Noah Brown.
Look, if Noah Brown doesn't do what happened there and record a second interception that goes on Romo's stats, I don't know that you and a lot of the media are having that conversation today is my thing. What happened here was this, guys. Doug Peterson pencil whipped another team that had significant injuries in a spot. In this case with the Cowboys, it was the DBs, right? Just like he did with the Titans and their linebacker situation and the receivers being all injured. Every Jaguars win, for the most part, has some sort of an asterisk on it. That's the one with the Cowboys. Also, please note, it ain't Dakota Prescott's fault that of what happened late, because Trevor Lawrence tried to give you the game back. That play call, you have a legitimate gripe on, and I will respect that. If you're going to take...
that was one of the dumbest things I've seen in
fucking
years.
McCarthy.
Oh, I would not have called it.
That's Kellen Moore, EJ. As a Cowboys fan, you should know that.
Oh, yeah. I apologize.
listening to your podcast, you sure as hell knew it after the 5 observations, I'm sure. But if you're going to take a risk, attacking the Jaguars secondary was the way to do it. I'll respect that. But when you could have just finished the damn game up and not handed the Jags a timeout, that was fundamentally stupid, and that's who you should blame. And I remember going on the Play Callers podcast last week and saying the key to the Jaguars winning was Doug Peterson pencil whipping McCarthy and for him to make a mistake. Be damned if it didn't happen.
Look, man, I'm not trying to take anything away from Jacksonville and what they did to win that game.
Oh, no, I'm trying to protect Dakota Prescott from this week.
But the bottom line is this: when the Cowboys went up, rain Dakota. But when the Cowboys were up 27-10, there was a poor decision that led to, what was it, the first interception? I lost count how many there were.
Smarty pants.
But that was a poor decision on the quarterback, and that's when the game really started to turn. Again, defensive failure, not denying. Coaching failure, not denying. Noah Brown's brick hands, not denying. This team not having depth at wide receiver somehow beyond CeeDee Lamb, that's not Dak's problem either. However, like, Dak still made some poor decisions, and he's not without fault. So yes, the last interception that went for the touchdown in overtime, not Dak's fault. Sure, that's fine. But there was also poor decisions made by Dak in that game, which he has continued to make. He has not progressed in his career. I would argue that he has regressed, especially since the injury.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually.
I'll put it this way.
Which is a problem. Now, again, he is the best thing the Cowboys have.
Sure.
That's undeniable. This is, once again, this is not me banging the drum to bring Riptide Rush back in.
Oh, no,
that's not what's happening here.
Yeah.
Dak is the best option, and that is what the Cowboys have, and have for what, the next 2 or 3 seasons? I forget the length of that deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's Jared's loyal to a fault, to an idiotic fault. Which is why McCarthy will probably be back again.
Bottom line, if you want great for your entertainment every Sunday,
we know. Follow me
at Big Jim Sports Twitter. The best.
We know. You say it every week, EJ. Stop trying to make fetch happen. But yeah, ugly
fetch guy.
Ugly. Google.com, Jack.
I know. Google.com, yeah.
But yeah, bottom line, it was a failure by the Dallas Cowboys. Notice how my ugly Kyle was the Cowboys, not Dak Prescott.
Oh, sure. But what was ugly about that concept is how you went to work on Dak in your 5 observations, and now
you're very heavy handed on Dak a little bit.
I mean, when you're paying
our quarterback, bro.
When you're paying the guy $160 million and he has regressed. He's going the wrong direction when other quarterbacks in the league are going up.
That's
the issue.
Do you want Danny Dimes?
Oh, no? Well, actually,
no. He's going to sign a long-term deal with the Giants, so that's fine with me.
EJ, you're not off the hook either. I've also successfully pointed out your sudden worship for Trevor Lawrence, just like suddenly now that Nick Wright is aboard, you want to try and
I agree with you saying.
What's that?
I agree with what he's saying on that segment I sent to you guys in the text. I agree.
Here's the problem. Okay. You're getting your Jacksonville Jaguar information from a national guy who doesn't pay attention to fat guys. Okay. There's the credentials, bitch. Anyways, so the part you're not accounting for, granted, as a guy who alleges to cheer for New York teams, you probably know at least loosely that the Jets have a great defensive front. Thank you, sir. Have a great defensive front, which has to face the Jaguars. And left tackle out. Yeah, I know you know about this part. For those who don't, it's for the listeners, EJ. It's not all about you, tool time. I said that because he's the one who has he is the one. Go Heat, bitch. Shut up, bitch. By the way, that's a great mug you have there.
That's the Rock.
I'll make a note that you're drinking. Oh, you mean the guy that went to Miami that you cheer for, even though you're an FSU? Anyways,
chill out.
So you can't handle the truth. Anyways, oh wait, sorry. Okay, good. Jim has his hand off the soundboard. I didn't want to interrupt another one. But where you're off is, I like Walker Little. He did a great job against Micah Parsons and company, or maybe the corners made it so that he could get enough time, whatever. But Walker Little did a great job coming in for Cam Robinson, who's now out for the year, and Jawan Taylor is battling a hamstring injury, but is said to be playing against the Jets front. That worries me. And it should worry anybody who's go get him, Trevor. Because here's the thing. All these asterisks, the Jets don't really have one defensively. The asterisks on the other side starting Zach Wilson. So all you got to hope is that he doesn't make mistakes is what I'm saying.
All right. Devin's ugly was the Colts blowing their the huge lead, now an NFL regular season record, to the freaking Vikings on Saturday. And Mike's ugly life without Lamar looks even worse than it has in previous years.
Pay that man.
That would have been my ugly if the Giovanni Bernard thing wasn't a thing. I agree.
Pay that man.
For sure. All right, we're going now to college football. I'm sure this is going to be a fairly quick exercise through this version of bowl week. Some bigger ones will be coming on next week's show, but let's get to these nonetheless. We have the Armed Forces Bowl. This is my pick. It is the 6-6 Baylor Bears. They're a 4-point favorite against 9-3 Air Force. 43 is your over under this one Thursday night, 7:30 ESPN. EJ, go ahead.
Give me Baylor the cover, and was it 43s?
Yes.
Fuck, give me over. Why not?
All right, Kyle.
I mean, for my money, I feel like Air Force is going to take control. I'm not picking the spread because I don't know what it is on here. I don't look it up like a degenerate. I'm not going to do anything to give Mike an opportunity to have more.
4. Baylor -4.
And yeah, I guess it might not change in 2 days. But listen, I'm still not picking it as to give Mike Bernier opportunity to put shit numbers on the show that aren't accurate and make EJ think he's better than he really is. That being said, I see
no one's claiming anything.
I see Air Force controlling the game for the most part. If it's 4, you think they'll cover that? Maybe.
Yeah,
I'll take the over in this game. I think that's safe if I was actually caring about picking.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
He's still big mad about last week.
I will be. Listen.
I will take Air Force plus the points. I think Air Force, I would take the money line if we're picking in Kyle's terms and logic, and give me the under on this.
I'm gonna go Air Force to cover and win. My pawpaw was an Air Force man, so will not pick against them here. And let's go over. Why not? All right, then we go to Kyle's game. Mike said he is working on fixing the quote unquote problem.
Well, if you want input from a data professional, I'm glad to do that.
All right. You know where to find him, Mike. Kyle's game, we got the New Orleans Bowl. It is 8-5 Western Kentucky taking on 10-2 South Alabama, who is a 4-point favorite. 57's your over under. This one tomorrow night, 9:00 Eastern time on ESPN. Kyle, go ahead.
Listen, for my money, the main reason I picked this game so I could keep covering the Jaguars, baby, of South Alabama, that is. No, that being said, I got the toppers in this one. WKU going to do the thing, and will they cover? Well, I mean, if I'm picking them to win, they're definitely going to cover, right?
There you go.
I'll take the over, sure, why not?
All right, Matt, go ahead.
Give me the Jags. I think they win by a touchdown in this one. So -4 is a safe one for me. I will take the under 57.
Hey, didn't we just talk about a game where the Jags won by a touchdown?
Joe Buck yourself.
EJ, go ahead.
Yeah, give me those other Jags. And I'll also take the under.
It's not funny.
Look, you're not going to hear me be pro anything Alabama very much on this show, but fuck it. Let's go. South Alabama to cover, and I'll take the over in this one. Matt,
I'm so shocked to hear you be pro Jags on anything on this show.
Jesus.
What an asshole. All right, Matt, this is your game. We got the Quick Lane Bowl. It is 6-6 New Mexico State against 6-6 Bowling Green, who is a 3.5-point favorite. 47.5 is your over under on this one currently. Not until Monday afternoon, 2:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Matt, go ahead.
Yep. Give me the Bowling Green Falcons. Can't pick against the MAC here. And I will take the under. Nope. Over.
All right. EJ.
Another 4-point spread. Jeez.
3.5.
Oh, 3.5. Well, I have a 4. Sorry.
You're wrong.
Don't even have the same spread. Sure. Let's get some.
Look at the out of here. Give me a Bowling Green. Give me the under.
All right, Kyle.
I too will go with Bowling Green for the pure reason that they exist in the hotbed, or rather not the hotbed, but the fertile crescent of football where it all began. That time last year. Yeah, it was born there, kind of like civilization was,
Oh my.
This guy gets it. That being said, yeah, this game isn't going to be anything compared to the Gasparilla last year. I didn't know you had that, Jim. That's awesome. Yeah, there's no way that this Gasparilla Bowl, or not Gasparilla, sorry, I said the wrong. The Quick Lane Bowl. I got Bowling Green. What can I say?
Perfect. Yeah, I'll go Bowling Green as well, even plus the 3.5, and I will go over on this one as well. And lastly, it is the Gasparilla Bowl. It is 7-5 Wake Forest. They are a 1-point favorite against 6-6 Missouri. 58.5 is your over under on this one. Friday, 6:30 Eastern Time, ESPN. EJ, go ahead.
I'll go Wake to win, and fuck, give me the over in this one. Fireworks.
All right, Matt.
I like that. Wake and the over.
All right, Kyle.
Yeah, EJ would pick the ACC. Damn homer.
Well, well, to be honest with you, I did. That's why I did it.
Yeah, I know.
You know me too long, buddy.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to go homer, and I'm going to hold my nose and pick the ACC to win.
All right, give me Missouri to win here, and I'll take the under. I'm going to go the complete opposite of EJ on this one.
Well, of course, because Jim.
That you're right.
Yeah.
Because me. All right, let's go to the NFL here.
All right.
Before we jump into this week's pick, let's take a look with just 3 more weeks to go at the current NFL playoff picture. We have the graphic on the screen here. So your current playoff teams and what would be matchups if the playoffs started today.
Dilemma for EJ, his Cowboys against his boy Tommy.
Ooh, that is drama.
Look at that. And then my Giants against my Niners. Jesus.
No, yeah. Well, I say
Man,
you're
that is just.
tasty. We know
let's
you're taking home team in that one, hippie.
let's look at the AFC first. Buffalo would currently have the first round bye. Then you would have the Titans versus the Ravens. The 3-seed Bengals would host the 6-seed Chargers, and the 2-seed Chiefs would host the 7-seed Dolphins. Do you guys? Who do you think that is currently a playoff team will not be 3 weeks from now? EJ.
Number four, Tennessee will be gone.
Okay.
Everything else sticks.
Okay. Everything else.
The order might change a little bit. Cincy, week 17, Cincy and Buffalo, Monday Football. Huge game. Obviously, Cincy has a chance to get number 1 seed still. But the only thing changes here in terms of playoff teams is Tennessee. They're gone.
All right, Kyle.
I don't know enough about Lamar Demetrius Jackson's status, but unless it gets better real quick, you better be picking Baltimore to fall off this.
Fairly certain they've already ruled him out this week.
They have, I think. But
it's week after he's supposed to be back. But again, I don't want to say it without knowing it.
Here's
go ahead.
They play Atlanta this week. They have Pittsburgh, and then they play Cincinnati.
Bruh.
That's a tough stretch with Lamar this year, much less without him.
So yeah, if there's anyone I'm going to take out with any certainty, it's going to be the Ravens right now. The Thursday before Christmas, which is featured on the Mum Christmas edition on the 3-point conversion, is going to be what I need to see before I do anything as drastic as EJ. I mean, I have recommended him an orthopedist for his knee jerks. But
thank you.
Yeah, hey man, that's how you roll.
Appreciate the information. I
love you. I want you to be safe for you and your family. Logan and Travis there. The guys you name after Chiefs players. Anyway,
shut up.
So, that's just kind of where I sit with that, just because Lamar Demetrius Jackson, man. I keep trying to find other things to say to add to it about giving up double-digit leads and all that kind of stuff.
Could I add that real quick, though? Here's why I'll disagree with you slightly on Baltimore. They've done a thing they were supposed to do early on. They baked enough wins in early now to where, honestly, they just need one win, I think. Because I don't see New England or the Jets making enough noise to catch the Baltimore. It will require those two teams winning the next three games, and I don't see that happening, honestly.
Let's see. New England has Cincinnati, Miami, and Buffalo. Yeah, that's
good night.
Stretch.
Good night.
The Jets have Jacksonville, Seattle, Miami.
So actually, that
Mike White should be coming back.
That's also crucial. Thank you.
That's still up in the air. Like you're definitely not beating Miami with Zach Wilson for sure.
If in your scenario, EJ, the Ravens get only the one win like you're talking about, that means they're going to fall to 6 conference losses. And if the Jets win out, which I'm not saying they will, they would surpass the Ravens on that front. So that's something to think about.
I'm just saying Baltimore has 9 wins right now as it is. So one more gets 10. I just think 10 is a lock. Is a lock right at this point now. That's why I think Miami's is a lock.
But I just told you how it's not.
If they're going to get to 10 wins, I think it has to happen this weekend.
Yeah, I think it will.
I know Pittsburgh is not what Pittsburgh has been, but I don't know if right now Baltimore can beat even this Steelers team. So I think that 10th win this weekend against the Fraud Cons is crucial.
Remind me, can he pick it out for the year?
I thought I saw today
cleared protocol,
that they
didn't he?
expect him to return.
Yeah, he
So
cleared
what
protocol.
you're telling me is without Lamar Demetrius Jackson, you could beat Kenny Pickett, which with that rivalry is perfectly possible, by the way. I mean,
possible, but yeah,
in a world where Charlie Batch and Byron Leftwich have been the difference.
I mean, yeah, those games don't get style points. Matt, do you see any changes coming in the AFC?
The only one that I would say, just because they're in kind of a free fall right now, would be the Dolphins. I think next week will be telling.
Their schedule's pretty easy, though. Well, not easy, but it's fairly doable.
I mean, they played the Patriots and the Jets to close out
and the Packers
this
season,
right?
Yeah, they got the Packers this week, and then the Patriots and the Jets. Which, EJ, you're the guy that always bangs the drum for division games getting weird.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just
I'm
saying,
that guy. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Those games are all definitely live, for sure.
They went out rest of the year, in my opinion. This is me.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah,
we know about your opinion. We've seen Tool Time.
Well, yeah, we'll get more on that later.
That Buffalo, that Buffalo loss, though. I mean, it was a loss, but everybody thought it'd be a blowout, and they.
Well, it's a division game. They get weird. And who was calling it a blue game?
Also, what have at least I talked about all year that Buffalo doesn't put teams away. Yeah, they haven't put away bad teams, much less good.
Which is why I think Cincinnati getting the number 1 seed is very much in play.
Yeah, I think that's in play. I think we see, I think we see more movement than we see teams like in or out changing. I'm leaning more towards Baltimore being out. I think the Chargers stay in. I think the Dolphins stay in.
Mm-hmm.
The Titans is definitely the one to watch, the South, because the Jags are surging and the Titans are, doing the thing that they do. Like when, their backs against the wall, they tend to kind of crumble a bit. But they still have both teams in the South ultimately control their fate. They just have to get the job done. The Titans are on the inside lane at this point. But I think the Ravens come out, but I think we're going to see juggling of spots.
I agree with you on that.
Juggling.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Although I'll say this, Jim, like you talking about the Bills not closing teams out, like, yeah, you're right, and I don't think that's an uncommon opinion or an awkward one to have. I mean, that's what we saw, right?
Jim, sure. Who's number 1 seed in opinion in the AFC when it's all said and done? You think?
Hold on. Let me
pull up the schedules just so So Cincinnati, they close with New England, Buffalo, Baltimore. Kansas City closes with Seattle, Denver, Las Vegas, and Buffalo closes with Chicago, Cincy, New England. Based on that, I'm going to say Kansas City. They have the easiest.
I agree.
They have the easiest road.
You can't give Kansas City credit. That's not fair. That's what Matt told me.
Is that what?
Matt told me you can't give Kansas City credit.
I'm just using your logic.
No, you're not.
I am. You mocked the Eagles' strength of schedule when Kansas City has a much worse one.
Overall? Okay,
yeah.
Now you're high. We'll have this conversation with that a little later, I'm sure.
Okay, data guy, you should look it up because that's the facts.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, we're not doing this now?
Wait, no hot fries out, Jim?
Well, no,
I got some cheddar popcorn. But
nice.
Are we doing this now or are we doing this later?
Well, no, we're going to do it during Tool Time, and I'm more than happy to dunk on that again in public. That's cool.
You didn't dunk on me at all. You just ignored the fact that I was using your own logic to raise these points.
No, when you talk to yourself and prove yourself wrong, that doesn't make you smart.
Kyle, more on that later.
Later.
Let's look at the NFC side. Currently Philadelphia, the number 1 seed. It is only a matter of time before that gets locked up completely. You currently have the 4 seed Buccaneers would be hosting the 5th seed Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers, the 3 seed, would host the 6 seed Giants, and the 2 seed Minnesota would host the 7 seed Washington. Matt, what changes do you see happening in the NFC by the time it's all said and done?
I'm probably taking the Commanders out, putting your frisky Lions in.
Roar.
Did you say roar?
I don't have enough faith in anyone. There would be some way to get Tom Brady into the playoffs. I don't think the Buccaneers lose to the NFC South.
All right, Kyle, how about you?
It's a good thing we don't have any fans of this team on the show, but I think the Giants are the most likely at this point, simply from a mentality standpoint, which would somehow make EJ able to play fetch, I think, or
get out, I mean?
Call it. No, right now, honestly,
is that what we're calling it now?
It was a joke, dang it.
For the Giants to fall out, you mean?
Yeah.
You said wait. Last week you said they'll get in. They won this week, and you not think they get out?
I do.
Okay.
Simply because of what it took for them to win.
No, agreed.
Was like they won in the one stat that's required to win a football game. You'll agree. I don't know that they won everything else. They certainly won in the bribery room. I'm joking, but while the Red Tails Commanders. At least I won't do it 3 times like Jim did on the Observations podcast.
Yeah, one of those is just a mental lock, too.
That was so great that you shouted me out for that, by the way.
Son of a bit, like I did it, and then my brain just kept going. I'm like, well, son of a bitch.
Resistance is futile. No, but listen, with the frisky Lions about and the Seahawks still in play, it's not impossible to rule out both teams falling out at this point either, but yeah.
All right, EJ, how about you?
Yeah, if we asked you this last week, I would have said Giants. That win against Washington was massive.
It was.
Obviously, I agree with you, Kyle, on the optics and all that, because now you have 3 games now ahead where you play Minnesota, the Colts, and the Eagles, which won't need that game at that point. So, to me, the number is 9. You get 9 wins, you're in the NFC. So the Giants. So. The team I'm taking out is Washington because Detroit is on a fucking roll. In fact, Detroit will be the 6th seed in the NFC playoffs.
Ooh.
They'll leapfrog the Giants.
That's really
they will win out, get the 6th seed. Giants will be the 7th seed still, but they'll lose 2 more games rather, and they'll still in the playoffs. So the only team that
I mean the Lions have the easiest road.
That's my point.
Out of the 4 teams that are still in play for the last 2 for the last NFC spots here, because the Lions have, at Carolina, home against Chicago, at Green Bay. Seattle has at KC, home against the Jets, home against the Rams. Washington is at San Francisco, home against Cleveland, home against Dallas. And the Giants have at Minnesota, home against Indy, and then at Philly, which, by that point, Philly should have everything locked up. But we'll see what happens there. Yeah, the Lions have the easiest road.
Yep.
For sure.
Can I say real quick, though, look at this playoff spot. The Cowboys are in the most peculiar situation now because the Cowboys they're locked at the 5 seed. They're locked. They can't get to me unless Detroit Dallas.
They're not locked into the 5 seed. Theoretically,
pretty much.
They pretty much are.
One more win, it guarantees it. And I just think if you're Dallas, you're not in a really bad spot either, where you can rest guys the next couple weeks, and you guys
that team can't afford to rest friggin' anybody at this point.
You're gonna draw also the worst of the 4 teams in the playoff bracket. I'm just saying, Dallas. Not to get all excited, but Dallas is a very peculiar situation there, where if they get healthy, they draw the Buccaneers in the first round, they find themselves playing, in the second
Great.
round of the
So
playoffs.
vintage Tom Brady can show up one more time.
That'd be so great though. See your fucking Twitter feed after that.
And you know what? It's my own doing too, because for years, like when everybody around me has talked about how much they hate Tom Brady, and it goes back to part of the reason why I hate Aaron Rodgers so much.
Right.
Besides the obvious, is that Rodgers has scorched the Cowboys so many times in the postseason, right? Like and I'm around here, I'm friends of Pittsburgh and Baltimore and Philly and different teams like that. So like they've all lost. And yes, I know, Matt, the Eagles ended up getting revenge against Tom Brady in 2018. But so many friends of mine have been burnt by Tom Brady in the postseason. I'm like, Tom's never hurt me, because the Cowboys never got to a spot where Tom Brady could hurt me. It's all going to come to roost in 4 weeks. So that's going to be great. We could be ready for 4 touchdown passes by Tom Brady and just making it rain all over the Cowboys.
I tell you right now, if that happens and the Bucks struggle to get the playoffs, they get in the playoffs anyway, and they beat you guys, McCarthy's done. Like literally.
Oh,
you underestimate Jerry Jones.
That's true. That's true.
I'll put it this way. I think Irsay doing what he did to Carson has kind of put that in the water. Don't rule it out, man.
You underestimate Jerry Jones.
I know he does.
I have watched his commitment to morons for the last 30 years.
Jason Garrett.
What, you want me to clap for you?
I mean, that's all I'm saying. Do I want McCarthy there next year? No. But you underestimate Jerry Jones. Before we move on to the picks this week, do you, in terms of the top 3 teams currently, Philly?
Wait, you didn't say yours, Jim. You didn't say your team.
I think the Lions. I mean, I picked them from the beginning. Get them in.
And who's out?
At least let me get something right from this season. Yeah, I think they get in. I think Washington is going to end up falling out. I do.
Hey, you were right about Utah, defendant.
Well, that's
oh
true.
my God, still doing that.
They were Pac-12 champions. Out of the current top 3 seeds, Philly, Minnesota, San Francisco. Philly is basically locked into that one spot. I think if they get one more win or Minnesota loses one time, we were kind of talking about this before we went on air. Philly's basically locked in to the 1 seed. Do you see changes in the 2 and 3 seed with San Francisco and Minnesota? So Minnesota they host the Giants. They're at Green Bay. They're at Chicago to close out the year. San Francisco hosts Washington. They go to the Raiders, and then they host the Cardinals. EJ, do you see 2 and 3 changing, or do you see Minnesota getting the 2 seed?
I have to know is a conference record based on that first? They're tied.
I forget how.
I think it is, since there's no head-to-head, correct?
Right. So
yeah, so it would be conference record.
And I don't know who has that, because I don't know who has the better.
Currently, Minnesota's conference record is 6-3, and San Francisco's is 8-2.
Then yes, it happens.
So you think San Francisco gets the 2 seed?
Yeah.
All right, Kyle.
You know, in that scenario, I'll put it this way: I feel like the Niners will have more wins than their Norse counterparts there, and they will cancel the standing jumping jack. Yeah, I'm with right now today at this moment. I reserve the right to change my mind with a bit more research. I think the Niners do it. Yeah,
for sure. And we'll probably look at this next week, and then the following week we're pretty much done. So, but Matt, do you see any changes to the 2 and 3 seeds?
Yeah, I think the way Minnesota's been playing lately, I can see San Fran. The defense is going to carry them to wins in these last 3 games, regardless of what Brock Purdy does.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think right now San Francisco is trending up. Minnesota is teetering on.
What is the status of Debo? Is he going to be?
He should be back for the postseason, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I said. He's at least the playoffs.
Yeah, I was going to say something like that, but the Niners fan interrupted me before I could talk. So
I'm sorry.
All right. So Mike asks, like, if we're all saying Minnesota loses, okay, home against New York, at Green Bay, at Chicago, who do they lose to?
They're losing in Lambeau.
The
Giants.
Lambeau. Really?
Oh, you think they lose this week? Wow. Let's get more on that.
More on that later.
Oh, if the Giants win this game, they're locked in the playoffs at that point.
More on that later. I think if I'm saying they're going to lose, I'll say it's to Green Bay. I'll agree that it's Green Bay.
You know, the only reason I don't say it's Green Bay is that's the kind of frisky situation in Week 18 where Justin Fields might play. Maybe not. I doubt it. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, I'm still saying the Giants. I'm just trying to come up with an answer, and it's not there.
Got Lambeau.
Yeah,
Bears game in Chicago. Is that in Chicago? The Bears game?
I could see them even possibly flexing that Minnesota Green Bay game. If
They possibly could. Because I mean, right now, I don't know. Right now, it's the 4:25 on CBS, so that's going to be your national spotlight game.
All right, we're already still kind of on shaky ground for coupons.
Right. Yeah, is that fine line, right?
They are Matt, dude, putting into the ether already, man.
They are a higher seed, so they won't want the Niners to see the outcome. That's a very real possibility. Yeah.
Mike says they lose to Jordan Love. I mean, possibly.
Have you seen that defense there, Mikey Byrne?
I mean, they did give up 33 to Indy this past week. So, all right. Mike says Commanders fall, Lions in, which we all kind of had as well. All right, let's get to the picks this week. Week 16 in the National Football League. Hard to believe we're almost at the end of this one as well. But we will start with one of those teams we were just talking about. This is my game. It is the 7-7 and surging Detroit Lions. They're a 3-point road favorite at Still Alive, Matt. The battle of frisky teams, right? Those frisky playoff teams.
This is it for my frisky team.
Yeah,
this is a must win for them.
All on the line. 5-9 Carolina. 44 is your over under on this one. Saturday, 1:00 on Fox. Matt, we'll start with you on this one then.
As much as I would like to have my frisky pick come true, I don't foresee it happening. I think Detroit has had everything going in the right direction for some time now, and it's going to continue, even if it is in Carolina. Give me Goff -2.5. I will take the over at this one, though. I think 44 is a little low for these offenses.
I agree. Kyle.
Playing either of these teams, it's really quite risky. The pairing right here is truly quite frisky. But what I'll say is Matt's right, 100% the over here. That is the one thing I'm most sure of. You may or may not be just being featured on the 3-point conversion in the Christmas edition of Matchup Mania, by the way. Yeah, Matt's right about the over. Were I to bet this game as a degenerate, which I am not, I would say the over. But you're asking me to believe. I scoff at Goff, but I am not going to believe in Hey Darnold at all.
The lesser of two evils.
Right. And by the way, which side has Man Campbell? Exactly. I got the Lions.
All right, EJ.
Roar. And the over.
Both those things roar.
Oh, that's true. Fuck, I didn't know that. Good point.
Oh, man.
Clip that shit, fucking Jim. Oh, my God.
No, we're not calling for you.
No, seriously. Detroit. I said
you don't need TikTok clips.
I said again, Detroit's winning out. They're winning out. 6 seed. They're going to win it. Cover the spread. Give me the over.
Yeah. Hey, you did a better job of being consistent than me. I tried to knock the Giants out and realized, probably not.
Yeah.
Like I said, pick the Lions preseason. That is all of a sudden alive again. I got to go with them. Got to keep the train rolling. Give me Detroit plus and the over. Then we go to EJ's game. It is the 6-8 Packers still alive, clinging to life. Jordan Love not starting under center yet.
Nope.
For Green Bay. But they travel to 8-6 Miami, who is a 4-point home favorite. 49.5 is your over under on this one. A Christmas early afternoon game, 1:00 Eastern time on Fox. EJ.
Game Miami to cover this game. Thus putting Packers out of contention officially. And give me a slight under.
All right, Kyle.
Julius, why the hell did you pick this game?
Because I don't know. Just wanted to.
What'd you do?
What game should I pick, buddy?
Not this one. I know that. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not in a place where I'm comfortable picking the Packers for anything, regardless of Aaron, Charlotte, Rodgers. I got the other team.
There we go. Perfect. Matt.
There's one thing Aaron Rodgers loves. It's being away from his family on Christmas Day. Give me the Packers plus the points. Give me the over.
Man, the Green Bay is not good. Miami's trending in the wrong direction. I think the Packers cover the 4. The Dolphins win. Give me the under, and it is an ugly display that people are forced to watch as we're napping on Christmas. Let's see.
You're watching the NBA at that point anyway.
Devin had the Lions in the over. He has Miami and the over in this one. Then we go to Matt's game. It is the 8-5-1 New York Giants traveling to 11-3 Minnesota, who is a 3.5-point home favorite. 48 is your over under Saturday, 1:00 on Fox. Matt.
I guess I already said that the Vikings are losing to Green Bay. But who's to say they can't lose 2 games here? Yeah, why not? Let's keep the Danny Dimes train rolling. Let's get that extension locked in before the season ends. Actually, I think the Vikings win, but give me the plus 3.5 for New York, since I think the average margin of victory for Minnesota at this point in the season is like 0.02.
Are they over? Are they over yet?
I think they are like plus 2 point differential for the year.
Minus 33 at halftime.
Give me the Giants plus 3.5. Give me the over on this one.
All right, Kyle.
You know, this is a very unique game. If it goes the way I think it will, I have to pick the under. I think the Giants control the ball enough and keep it out of Kirk Coupon's hands, so the minimal chances he has, he'll not connect because he chokes. So yeah, I got the Giants, and despite my best efforts to think they wouldn't make the playoffs, they're going to make the playoffs apparently through no fault of Brian Daboll's.
Coach of the year is still on the table.
Hey, if they went out, man, conversation. Conversation.
Get out of here.
No. If the Lions make the playoffs just like you predicted, and you don't make Campbell Coach of the Year, you will be mocked about that for years.
So
like you didn't vote for
probably didn't,
Barrington Wilson as the MVP in 7.
It's funny you said that, Kyle, because I don't know if you heard Jim. I heard Unfiltered Pod yesterday. I did a case with Matt Campbell.
I know, but you're still trying to make Dable a case for Dable.
No, it's Sirianni right now. It's Sirianni with a fucking bullet.
No.
Period. End discussion.
Not really.
But I'm looking at.
I'm sorry, with the Lions in play,
Dan Campbell
it is not Sirianni with a bullet.
And a lesser extent, Doug Peterson. Similar situation too.
Interesting how you're back on that train.
Doug Peterson would have to 100% make the playoffs, and even then,
that's what he said. All the happy year. So it's Dan Campbell.
Yeah, but with those two teams in play,
and it's still Sirianni even after that. Sorry.
No,
anyway,
it's not. But just like you were wrong about Dayball, you're wrong here against the team you allegedly hate.
If the Giants,
he's a Jalen Hurts guy.
What's that?
He's a Jalen Hurts guy.
Oh.
If the Giants win 11 games, let's say the Giants win, have win out the rest of the year. That's 11 wins for the Giants.
I mean, they won't, but okay, let's play.
No, they won't, but that happens.
Well, they might win their last game because the Eagles will have benched everyone at that point, maybe.
Right. So, I mean, you got to just consider it. But it's Sirianni with a bullet. So, anyway, is it my turn now?
No, it's not.
Say you have Sirianni.
Why is that Sirianni? Why is that Sirianni? Why?
Sirianni with a bullet because you just can't pay for Dan Campbell.
Wait, the with the bullet part is the problem. That's the problem. Sirianni's not the problem. I'm here to listen to Sirianni, and he's probably in the number 1 spot right now.
Probably.
Sure. Let's have
he's
him.
Not
in there.
definitively in the number
right.
1
He's
spot.
the
can't
leading
say someone's
candidate.
locked in.
Who are we considering at this point now? Like that's even
Campbell
right
is
now.
still in play.
Campbell has to win out.
Correct, which is still possible.
What's his face in Miami is probably still in play.
But if the Eagles end the year 16-1,
they won't.
They probably won't, but if they do,
Okay, but you just gave us the scenario where the Giants go 11-1 or 11 and whatever and 1 by winning out. So the Eagles and the
Don't forget
Giants
that
both
one.
can't win out.
the one loss, the one fucking tie. Well,
How's
just two
the
this weekend.
popcorn here, Jim? This is great.
Anyway, give me Minnesota to cover. Give me the under.
But yes, Minnesota's net points currently is 2. They are
0.25684.
Detroit 5 to the good.
Yeah, thanks.
The Giants 25 to the bad, by the way. Coach of the year. But
That's because the fucking Eagles. That's why. The Eagles lost that shit.
Oh, right. You're talking about Doug Peterson now.
Coach of the year, of course. Coach of the year. Eagles.
Yeah.
The Jags have a positive point
At this
differential.
point, give me the Giants here.
Peterson has a better coach of the year resume at this point than Daboll.
You think so?
No, neither of them do.
I'm with Matt. Give me the Giants to win here. I want Danny Dimes back there next year.
Oh, shut the
Lock
fuck
him up.
up,
Lock
Jim.
him up. All right, let's go the other crappy NFC team with East team with a tie. 7-6-1 Washington. Did everybody pick their game there? I lost track in EJ's ramblings. Devin says the Giants in the under.
I had the Dolphins.
Did you go, Kyle?
Yeah, I said Giants for that.
All right, perfect. All right, let's go Kyle's game. We got the 7-6-1 Commanders. They are traveling to 10-4 San Francisco, who is a 7-point home favorite. 39.5 is your over-under on this one. Christmas Eve, 4:05 Eastern time on CBS. Kyle.
2 young quarterbacks, 2 defenses of prowess. But here's the thing. The Niners have the nastiest one in the league. I don't care that Deebo Samuel is out. It would be nice to have him, obviously. But at the end of the day, I see the Niners dominating. I don't care what the number is. Don't tell me it's still the under. And at the end of the day, thanks. And, and with all that in mind, I'm going to take the 49ers on the strength of the fact I see the Red Tails more likely to make a mistake. Commanders. And also my sole reason for picking this game to provide it isn't because of me wearing this cap or EJ cheering for the Niners. I want EJ to anguish as he slowly puts his Commanders out of playoff contention.
Hey, Kyle, don't beat yourself up over calling them the Red Tails. EJ was still calling them the early last season. So
Shit,
so
this year.
It's probably as well. But, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, EJ. But
no. Don't need it anymore. I'm
take
done.
it. All right, EJ, go ahead. Washington and San Francisco.
Sneaky big game.
Gotta rip you apart.
Yeah, sneaky big game here. Under is the play here. First off, you're gonna bet this game. Bet the under.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's not a smart play to bet a low under like that.
I don't see. I see it being like a 27 to like fucking.
It may be, but
10.
that's not a smart bet to make.
Why?
With a
You think
low under. If it's
So you said it was 27 to 10. That's literally 2 points off.
I'm just saying.
under
And Max, no. I have San Francisco win this game. Yeah, they cover. They cover the spread. They cover the spread. 7.5 points.
All right, Matt,
Bet
go
the
ahead.
under.
I will take the under. I wouldn't bet on it.
Bet it.
You want to bet it for real?
Betting
You want to
it.
bet it?
I will. It probably does fall the under,
You're
but it's
nothing
not
but
a
a
safe
degenerate.
bet.
How good has your betting been going again, EJ? Just throwing that out there.
Well,
Oh, we don't see the 5 locks of the week anymore. So.
Funny how that happens, and
been
yet
a
he
while.
allegedly has the best record picking games.
Washington has scored 20 points 5 out of the last 6 weeks. San Francisco has scored 20 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of the last 11 weeks. But yeah, let's hammer that under, baby.
How many of those weeks,
All right, Kawhi, calm down.
how many of those weeks was Brock Purdy at quarterback, though, Jim? Be fair.
Okay, he's been there for what? 3 of them?
Third start.
33, 35, 21, all over 20. So you have 2 teams that are averaging 20 plus most of the last month. And
Was Bryce Young on the other side?
I mean, I'm just saying.
If you're going to have a data argument, don't come in here unequipped like Bernier, okay?
Bryce Young's still playing in Alabama if we're going to go factually accurate.
I said Bryce Young, didn't I?
You did. You did. No,
Bryce Young, really?
I get it. The 2 defenses are playing well. For me, the bottom line is don't bet this game.
Also fair.
Bet the under.
But Matt, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
I'll take the under, but I wouldn't bet it. I will take San Fran minus the 7. I would feel more comfortable betting that. Did EJ leave? Is he?
I think his kid is not
Logan's awake. Logan Charles is awake. Sorry.
Logan Charlet, really?
Logan Charlet.
Jeez.
Shut up, Kyle.
Give me, well, San Francisco's starting to roll. I think give them even plus the 7, and over. But again, don't bet it. And again, this probably will move a little bit by the time we get to game time on Saturday. But yeah, I don't touch it. And dear God, maybe they didn't flex it because it's Christmas week and they didn't want to disrupt travel plans as it was, but. What kind of contest in hell did we win that this is your Sunday night primetime game? It is the 6-8 Buccaneers. They are a 6.5 point road favorite at 4-10 Arizona. 41 is your over under Sunday.
Make plans
on NBC and Peacock. Kyler Murray obviously out for the year. Colt McCoy status still in the air. So I don't even know who is the quarterback for the Cardinals at this point.
Pretty sure John Skelton's out of the league. That's the good news.
Let me dig this far deep in
what's the old depth chart looking like for?
All right.
We've got Penn State legend
Trace McSorley, David Wall.
Wow.
Listen, you asked the question about like what hell do we live in?
Sucks.
You do realize you're talking about the quarterback that sold his soul for immortality and to win Super Bowls with Darth Hoodie. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, oof. There you go. Trace McSorley versus Tom Brady. Good luck. Matt, go ahead. Lead us off.
Yeah, I'll take the Buccaneers, even though Tom Brady's playing like the shriveled husk of himself. I still think that the defense and the running game can do enough against Arizona to take the win. But I will take the under in this one. I wouldn't bet it, but I'll take it.
I actually might.
This
is pretty ugly. Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you caught me off guard with
so
that.
Bad, Kyle, speechless.
Yeah. I'm still trying to analyze what portion of Tom Brady's whole I'm trying to account for what portion of Tom Brady's soul is still actually here on Earth and what he hasn't sold yet. You got to pick the Bucks, right? It's in the words of Jim, to win the division? ?
There you go. All right, EJ.
What's the over-under again?
41.
That high? Jesus.
Currently, yes.
Definitely the under. Definitely the under. I'll bet this shit too. And get Tampa to win this game. I mean, look, if Tampa came and covered the spread, I swear to God.
So EJ's betting it. Make sure you tune into that game if you want a shootout.
Don't start your shit, Kyle. Don't start your shit.
Yeah, whatever EJ just said, give it the opposite.
Stop it, Jimmy.
Look, as bad as the Bucks are, the Cardinals are that much worse. So give me Tampa. And Trace McSorley, literally, that's the thing. If McCoy doesn't play, good God, yeah, Tampa's going to look like world beaters on this one. They're going to be plus that 6.5. Under. Under's the smarter play, but I wouldn't even touch that.
How about you?
All right, now let's see. Devin has had San Francisco and the under back on that one. I missed that one. But let's get to it. We know what time of the week it is.
Row. So white, Kyle. What the fuck was that?
No idea what that was.
Just pretend I actually extended my middle finger because I'm the one on this show that doesn't go out of his way to cuss.
He was giving you the old.
Yeah, he was doing that.
All right, we know what time it is. It is the power rankings. It is EJ's top 10, bottom 5. Remember, Kyle and everybody.
Right. Taking
specifically Kyle.
Yes.
Let's look at the bottom 5 first. EJ, go ahead.
Bottom 5, I believe, is the same the last 3 weeks. Rams 28, Broncos. No, there's some changes.
No,
I'm sorry.
you put the Cardinals
No.
in this
29
week.
Broncos, 30 Colts, 31 Cardinals, 32 Texans.
Did you have the Broncos in 32nd last week?
31.
31st.
Okay. So they moved up 2 because they beat one of the worst teams in football.
They still
I mean,
won.
technically they should move up just a little bit, and they didn't get injured. They don't have to worry about Trace McSorley. I can see the logic there.
I maybe would have kept them where they were.
Not 31. No, I mean
30 Texans at 32 again after they gave the Chiefs a run like that. As much as we're supposed to talk about that and give it credit, you obviously didn't. That's interesting.
I mean, I really want to move on to 32, man. I mean, jeez, Cardinals so fucking bad. I don't know. They got one win again, one win still. So,
and
Colts win 30. Wow, demonstrated Colts win 32.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with the Colts at 32.
As a Saturday,
he's not wrong.
I mean, they all got cases here. Matt, any issue with this bottom 5?
No. No, I think that's fair.
Okay.
All right, top 10, EJ.
Here we go. Number 10, we got a newcomer, the Detroit Lions. Number 9, the Dolphins. 8, Vikings. 7, Chargers. 6, Cowboys. 5 Niners, 4 Chiefs, 3 Bengals, 2 Bills, 1 Eagles. Obviously, Lions being a newcomer to the list. I moved the Chargers up a little more. I actually moved down the Vikings despite winning this week. Dolphins moved up 1 despite losing this week. And I swapped. I did the thing finally, Jim. I swapped the Bengals and Chiefs.
Good. Should have happened a couple weeks ago, but
hey.
Why did it happen this week?
Growing sample size. This is fluid.
Says
Dallas
the guy
is too high.
Say it again.
Dallas is too high.
I agree with that.
I don't know, man.
Bro, they had to have a fourth quarter basically comeback or turnaround to put away the Colts. They needed a 98-yard touchdown drive to beat the Texans. Remember, you're the number 32 team, and they lost to the Jags this week. Keeping the Cowboys at 6 is too high.
Giving up more points than they have in any other game this year, by the way.
Like, and I get the Jags are surging, but the Cowboys are going in the wrong direction.
I will say the Texans
and they're beat up. If you're taking injuries into account with like the Cardinals, for putting them from not even in the bottom 5 almost to 32, and you're counting injuries, they're so beat up and they stink. The Cowboys are beat up too, man.
I will say the frisky Texans
narrative, so it doesn't count, Jim.
Frisky Texans window looks better now with the Chiefs almost losing them as well. In fact, being taken in overtime.
No.
In fact, just saying, against an actual Super Bowl contender.
Okay,
so there's that.
A come from behind win for the Cowboys holds up their 6th spot, because they barely beat your worst team in the league, but the Chiefs drop now because they barely beat your worst team.
They drop because the Bengals are surging. That's why.
Surging, beating.
I don't see a team below Dallas. I think is better. I don't
way.
see a team below Dallas. I think is better than Dallas right now. Still, even what happened on Sunday.
You're raising them higher so Tom can feel better about what happened.
No. Again, none of those 14.
No, we get it.
None of those
Tom's had a
14.
rough year. You got to take care of him. I get it. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll put it this way: the Cowboys are too high. You're a Cowboy fan, so I get why you're keeping the Giants out. I don't get the Dolphins moving up. That's really kind of my.
I told you it was a good loss. I was very impressed.
So again,
it's their 3rd loss in a row.
I understand that,
too.
But it's also number one. It was a baked-in loss. Everybody nationally had this team losing big because of the elements.
I didn't say big, but
not to you.
Okay, who was your 9 last week?
9 last week, I believe was Baltimore. No, wasn't Baltimore last week? I'll tell you right now.
No, I think Baltimore was 2 weeks ago.
You had the Ravens at 10, didn't you? Yeah,
I'll
you
tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. Give me one quick second.
I mean,
But-
Ravens getting bumped out is fair.
Oh yeah,
Correct.
definitely.
That's because of Lamar
Of
not being
course.
there.
Yeah, no. For once, you held up to your own logic. Listen, and remember, if we're taking the injury thing into effect, whoever's questioning the Chargers might be the healthiest they've been since the week they played the Jaguars.
This is
and
correct.
lost everybody.
And they moved up 2 spots.
Yeah. No, I'm crediting your listen. I
Okay,
like
cool.
the placement of the Chargers. I would
Right.
argue that the Cowboys are too high. The Vikings should have been punished and been knocked out of the top 10 for that abysmal bull.
But you can't do that, though. 'Cause, I mean,
But you really can. Because they're about to lose to the Giants this weekend, even over.
They're gone. They lose this
They
weekend.
set themselves up to do that. Now, if they survive and remain a piece where they can actually be a reasonable threat
Mhm.
to stay in the top 3, then you put them back, maybe at 10. But if you take this Vikings team that seriously, where they're still at 8, I cannot help you.
Okay, so for context purpose, last week I had Ravens 7.
Yep.
Vikings 8, so the same spot. They didn't move anywhere.
They need to drop.
Dolphins. No, sorry. Oh, hold on. Chargers 9 last week.
But wait. Don't go past Vikings at 8 right now. What you're telling me is they did what they did and stayed in the same spot. That is fundamentally trash, buddy.
Chargers were 9 last week.
And he deflects.
And Dolphins 10.
Okay. So if he had the Vikings at 8, like he had the Ravens above, he had the Chargers below at 9, and you had the Dolphins at 10 last week. So the Chargers leapfrog the Dolphins when the Ravens fell, or excuse me, leapfrog the Vikings when the Ravens fell out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can put Miami. Like, are you putting Miami above?
No.
Minnesota right now?
What you do is you drop down Miami, Minnesota. If you want to make those interchangeable and make that call, cool. I wouldn't say put the Lions ahead of them, but I let's put it this way. The Chargers, the way you fix this is the Chargers perhaps at I'll say 6.
Cowboys 7.
Cowboys 7. The Vikings, I mean, to your credit.
That's the hard part is who are you if you're saying Vikings out, right?
I think the only reason they stay is because the people around the Vikings did worse than the Vikings.
Correct.
Exactly.
That's what Jim's saying. I'm not sure I'm buying.
Okay, so who goes take the Vikings out?
I think the Giants for now should take their spot, and it would be ideal because I know EJ has done this a lot in the past, and he's going to deny it, but he's full of shit.
What do you mean? No, the Giants are not a top 10 team.
Hear
Dude.
what I'm about to say, because you're still wrong. But when I say it, you're going to be like, "Yeah, I have done that."
It's like Trump right now.
Do
it with the hands.
Wrong. Huge.
Don't be rude.
Sloppy.
I don't see how you can put the Giants above the Vikings.
Well, no, hear me out, because this is a logic EJ has used in the past. The reason why you put the Giants ahead of the Vikings is they've won the important game, and the Vikings, with help perhaps, but the Vikings were awful. They need to be punished. So with that in mind, you put the Giants in place over them, and then if they win, like EJ alleges they're going to, then they earn that spot back, and it all resets next Sunday.
But isn't it a team being 11-3, being a number 8 on a rankings punishment enough?
No, not necessarily.
But I mean, they didn't move up when a team above them lost. So isn't that a punishment in and of itself?
Right.
And also, haven't you, Kyle, used the logic on this show that if you put teams in a head-to-head, who would win? And so you're saying
that's what I'm doing exactly. Actually,
so you're saying did you have the Giants beating the Vikings?
You did, buddy.
Well, there you go. I
guess this we can answer that question.
It will.
There it is. He just fucking did it. God, what an asshole.
Who's the ass?
That's what I'm saying. Use that, but use the team that won the game as the one with the higher spot. Let the loser come back up on the hill. That's what the king of the hill concept is. Oh.
See, I still have the Vikings in the top 10 because I picked the Giants to win because I'm trolling EJ and want Danny Dimes to be their quarterback
True. Now,
moving forward. But I think the Vikings actually are the better team and will win.
I mean, which team? The
I
only team you consider in the top 10 right now that's not in the top 10 right now is Baltimore, and we know how that story's playing right now currently.
Yeah, no one's arguing Baltimore. I will concede Vikings at 10 is not completely awful. That's fine. But they need to drop at least a spot, don't they? That's historically bad stuff. The last time a comeback like that happened, it was the 90s. And the only way it's not worse than that one is a backup quarterback executed it. No offense to my
Here's where someone I saw Colin Cowherd's top 10 today. Actually, he had Vikings at 10 also. So
okay, well, he got it right and you did it. What do you want me to tell you?
He had lines at 8. He had lines at 8.
I'm not hating that. They're surging right now. Man, Campbell is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I have the Lions jumping into my 10 spot. I have the Dolphins. at 9. I have the Vikings falling from 7 to 8 in mine. So they did.
So we have the same top 10, right, Jim?
I actually have the Niners at 4 because I'm punishing the Chiefs for the near Texans loss.
So all of a sudden, I'm the Niner guy. All of a sudden, you have them ranked higher than me now. Wow.
Oh yeah, because I haven't grossly overranked them all season.
But I'm not where they're at right now.
To me, the Chiefs were at 4 last week. The Niners were at 5. The Niners had a good win, and the Chiefs had a bad win. And look, I dropped the Cowboys a spot when they almost lost to the Texans. So I'm treating the Chiefs with the same logic that I did the Cowboys.
Whoa. Consistency is not welcome on this show, Jim.
I know. What the hell am I doing? What am I doing?
Christmas, EJ.
Any issue with the Bills and Chiefs swap? Bengals and Chiefs swap, Kyle?
Because you're punishing the Chiefs in that way. Yeah, I'm not that. Just like I told Matt when we were talking about it last night. If you want to punish the Chiefs this week, if you're expecting an argument, it's not coming from me.
It's not. It's less about the punishing Chiefs. It's a combination of the Chiefs having kind of two easy games and playing down opponents, and the surging Bengals on top of that. If Bengals surging, I wouldn't give a shit.
Surging over the Bucs?
Okay, still a playoff team. I don't care. I know they're 6-8. Still playoff team.
No.
On the road, turn it around.
No.
Yeah. So
stop.
You can't do that. It's a
care.
power ranking. You can't do that. That's the whole point. You're supposed to be pointing out teams who don't belong.
You can't prop the Bucs.
It's Tommy. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Look, I know what you're trying to do, but man, don't do that. I'm saving you from yourself. Don't do
Matt,
that.
any issue with the rankings?
I already said the Cowboys too high.
Okay.
I wouldn't have dropped the Vikings out of my top 10 just because I saw what the other teams did.
Vikings at 10 is fair. I'll allow it for sure.
But Cowboys after 2 tough weeks in a row, I think 6 is too high for them.
Yeah, they also need to be brought down a bit. Devin says, and this is fandom, a little bit no different than me.
Miami, right?
But he said he would have the Dolphins at 15.
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That's a little low, but look, I get it, Devin. I'm with you. I see what you're doing, buddy. I feel you. I got it. I got it. I got you. All right. Let's close it up for the week.
He sounds like you with the Cowboys. Overreaction.
Lock it up.
What's that?
He sounds like you with the Cowboys overreacting.
It's not overreacting, EJ. I've been watching this same repeat show for the last 27 years. It is not an overreaction.
Yeah.
Before we get to the locks, this Friday, I believe is the great holiday of Festivus. Does anybody have any grievances they would like to air?
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
Everyone, the floor is yours. EJ, Kyle, Matt. If you want to listen to mine, listen to my 5th observation from Sunday. That was my grievance.
Hey,
buddy. Listen, I did mine in the ugly, if I'm being honest.
That's fair. We heard Kyle's. EJ, do you have any? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
No, I don't have any. No, I'm good.
I still have agreements with Tool Time got a T-shirt for being bad at its
Get
job.
over it. Get over it. Shit.
That's for the sake of
Merchandising.
I guess the Dayball disrespect from you jabronis here from week 1. Get over it, please.
Facts.
A team that was supposed to win no more than 4 or 5 games this year has 8, and somehow he's not coaching.
I'm not
denying. Like, stop.
I'm not denying that he's done a good job. It's looking at the broad picture as a whole. He's not the guy.
EJ,
he's not now.
As anyone, he never was.
At 6-1,
he was always a candidate. He was
regular season awards aren't handed out in week 6.
He wasn't the bride. He was a bridesmaid. Get it right.
All right, whatever. Grievance.
My grievance is people who hand out regular season awards in week 6.
My grievance is people who let fetch happen and had 4A and 4B on their goddamn chart. How about that, Jim?
Or base their coach of the year rankings according to what preseason projections look like, because that's a thing that holds weight.
Well, I mean, expectations.
Expectation. I think does play into
minimally
things of
minimally.
They were supposed to win 4 or 5 games and they won 8. Who gives a shit?
4-game improvement? That saves jobs, my friend.
I mean, hell, Sirianni was in the conversation last year. The Eagles supposed to suck last year. Made the playoffs.
He probably should have been in the discussion last
year. He was in discussion last year.
So if you're gonna go on a show and complain about the playoff structure, you cannot use the Eagles made the playoffs argument. With all due respect.
Oh God, what the 7th spot? I get it, but it is what it is. You can't control it.
No, you don't get it, or else you wouldn't use that weak ass argument.
But it is what it is, though. They made it so, and that's we have, and that's it.
That doesn't mean you have to respect
shit about the pot.
It doesn't make it. That's not even how you use. That's not how this works.
I don't know.
That's not how any of this works.
I understand that.
Hold on. Don't I have that?
You have that?
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Thank you, Jim.
I was like, I thought for sure I have this.
That's what she didn't say. Anyway.
No, it's probably no, you're probably right.
Anyway. All right. Any other grievances?
Matt's got many grievances, I'm sure. Go ahead,
I have none. I will say that EJ's just premature on a lot of things, like calling an NBA season dead when a team starts 0-3.
I didn't say that. I never said that, buddy.
Jim,
you did say that.
Find the tweet. Find the tweet. What didn't happen?
I've sent it to you.
Yeah, we've literally. I think.
Yeah, no, this has happened.
Anyway, lock it up.
All right.
EJ trying to be the host. You got your own show.
I'm done fucking this shit.
EJ, what's going to happen this weekend?
My lock for the week is going to be that Bucks-Cardinals game will be boring as shit. Take the under, and that's the lock. The under.
Do better.
That was easy.
Do better.
Lock it up.
Do better.
Come on, man.
Do better.
Do better than that.
Do better. No, he's not, but do better.
The Dolphins win this week's Green Bay. Lock that bitch up right there.
All right, that's a little better.
Lock it up.
Kyle.
Call both games, and I'll let it go.
Okay, fine. Give me both those games.
Okay.
There we go. A double lock.
Lock it up.
Kyle, go ahead.
I believe that once the Giants beat the Vikings, EJ will have them in the top 10 and then claim to be a Giants fan again for the first time in weeks.
If that happens, I'll have the biggest boner ever.
Now,
Holy
your
shit.
son is sitting in your lap. What the fuck?
Oh, shut up. That's disgusting.
Oh, wait.
That is a disgusting.
That is disgusting, dude. Next.
You're the one that said it.
Yeah, Jesus. Matt, go ahead.
The Jaguars lose to the Jets and end EJ's claims that the Jaguars will win the AFC South.
You're an asshole, Matt.
And thus eliminating Doug Peterson from the Coach of the Year.
Correct.
And entering Brian Daboll because of what.
And most importantly, preventing me from covering a damn playoff game in Duval. Thanks, Matt.
You're an asshole, Matt.
Matt, don't you like Kyle?
Apparently not.
Apparently. Let's see. Devin, his lock of the week with the Dolphins beating Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. There you go, Dolphins fan. Mine, let's circle back to my good from the top of the show. Jared Goff will go a 7th straight game without turning the ball over.
Really? I like that.
Victory.
Well done.
Victory over
Lock it up.
the Panthers. All right. And that is where we close it up for the week before the Christmas holiday. Look, I want to thank you guys, the three of you guys, for this show and all the other things you contribute to this feed this year. This show has taken on much bigger forms than I thought a couple of years ago it was going to be. This team right here is who I have to thank for it. So I sincerely hope that the three of you gentlemen have a great holiday. I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way before we go around. Matt, let them know how to follow you and keep track of what you're doing.
Yep, you can follow me across all platforms. It's Teaching to the Choir. That's the number 2 and then DA on all platforms. You can hear me on Thursdays and Tuesdays on the 3CT podcast, talking all things wrestling. This week, Thursday, we'll have our Christmas edition, including Christmas Jeopardy. So see which one of the boys knows the most about all things holidays, and our end of the year awards as well. See how Jim tries to force Roman Reigns into the winner of every single category.
Yeah, the end of year awards and our matches of the year will be on the podcast next Tuesday.
Don't get mad at Jim for that. Have you seen how evil that dude looks when he says, "Acknowledge me"? All Jim is doing is protecting himself. Okay,
exactly. My wife, she refuses to do it, but I acknowledge my tribal chief. That's all I'm saying. EJ, go ahead.
Michigan.
Man.
EJ, go ahead.
Ursula Podcast, all podcast catchers. I've done here. I'm going to record my N1 podcast on the Huddle Up Network, of course.
This time he means it.
Check out also Ursula Unfiltered podcast as well too. Been dropping little nuggets here. Like I said, the argument about the coach of the year. I did that yesterday.
Still wrong.
And,
argument.
I said Dan Campbell, buddy. We talking about
argument.
I'm joking, buddy. I'm joking.
Dan Campbell, buddy. I made your argument on that. Other than that, City Wrestling with Thursday. I'm back this weekend as well. Second week in a row, Jim. Last show of the year for us.
Allegedly.
I like how Jim is a more constant staple on the Take 3 Wrestling podcast than one of the creators and founding members of it.
Yes. It is what it is, though. But seriously, guys, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you guys. Have a safe holiday. This is my first time of year, family and all that. So
in 2023, I'm taking over the Earnestly Speaking podcast.
Hey. And who will I dunk
on? Devin, thanks for tuning in, bud. Hope you have a good holiday. Sincerely glad to hear you are feeling better as well. I know you had a pretty rough bout with the flu there. Student of the game, Kyle Nash. Let him know.
Honor, joy, and privilege, gentlemen. Listen, of course, for me, my holiday acknowledgement to all you guys is to provide, I don't know what more I could give than the escape you provide me as a host. Like if we do that for our listeners, then damn it, this is a worthy endeavor. So thank you, gentlemen, for that.
Oh yeah.
From Jim being a gracious host when even I call him a bitch on his own show, he still calls me back. From
that is a disgusting act.
I'm acknowledging that. Matt, who will cross blades with me no matter how wrong he is eventually, and do so in intelligent fashion.
Yourself.
And then take jokes like that and smile wide to know that it's all still cool. And EJ, man, listen, the guy who would have hair.
Stand there and you're wrong. Listen, be wrong and get used to it.
And EJ, who would still have hair if I didn't dunk on his head so much. So, thanks to all of you, and you're including me in your lives, even though there are many times when I'm apparently the closest thing to Don Rickles in your life.
That's a compliment to yourself.
I love Don Rickles, man. So
no, really, honestly,
you went to grade school with him, right? Hey,
with hair this good? I wish. No, listen, guys, I appreciate you. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night and happy holidays for those that celebrate other holidays as well over and above. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Check out on Instagram, the SOTG. Check out my work there with both the black and gold banneret and the 3-point conversion. Jim skipped the 3-point conversion. Well, I can't see more on that later at the end of the show, but there's my wrap-ups from the Jaguars Cowboys overtime game and how that works. Talk to some guys in the locker room. Arden Key, Foye Oluwakun. Always got to stop. That's a tough one.
There we go.
And then, of course, Christian Kirk commenting on the offensive point of view as well. So check that out. 3-point conversion the Conversion YouTube channel as well, and the Matchup Mania. You'll see that. And by the way, if you don't see it there, check out my Facebook page, which is as the Student of the Game. And of course, the black and gold banneret upcoming will be the Military Bowl after Christmas. The day after this next show, UCF will be battling Duke. Here's some of my feelings leading up to that and the state of the UCF basketball program as well. So there's that. And, when the Student of the Game report happens on the Earnestly Speaking podcast, I do that on occasion as well. That's a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
And look out for me on the Mark Moses show. If you missed it yesterday, it'll be going out soon from Melbourne 1560, I think it is, The Fan. So yeah, looking forward to what the rest of the year has to bring, and we'll get into Happy New Year funness, I'm sure, next week. Honor, joy, and privilege until next time, everyone. Class dismissed.
Again, certainly appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everyone who tunes in and makes Huddle Up Podcast part of your week. Make sure you are subscribed to the podcast feed because, yeah, we, of course, have this show, but we also have My 5 Observations. We have And One, the basketball show from EJ. We have 5 for Fighting, which is the NHL show from Big Mike. So plenty of content on the Huddle Up Podcast feed each and every week. Make sure you share it with somebody if you think they would enjoy it as well. Subscribe to us. Follow us on social media at Huddle Up Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Get our merchandise over at TeePublic. Hit the link tree in all of our social media. Until next week, again, we hope you have a great holiday season, however and whatever you celebrate. And until then, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the win.